And we're live. Hello, YouTube. Got a little live stream today. Probably go for about a half hour. I got some emails, and I want to talk about toys today. Ooh, collectibles. Gonna talk about toys. We're gonna talk about statues. Got a couple emails. Some good news, some bad news. I got a note from one vendor saying an order that's been released and some people are getting is going to be delayed, maybe quite delayed. Got a notice got a couple notices actually from another vendor saying that some things that I've had on order for a long, long time are finally coming. So a bit of a mixed bag on the news front. But I did a little digging, and I figured today we'd do two things. We'd go over some of the stuff that I have on order that's either coming or that I'm waiting for and might be waiting for some time. And then maybe a little bit of investigation into why. So let's start with this article first. Let's look at an article from CNBC. From one Miss Sarah Witten and Melissa Repko. This is an ocean full of containers. How toy companies are grappling with shipping delays this holiday season. So this is about toys, toy companies. And, from a collectible perspective, not all collectibles are considered to be toys, but even the like statues and stuff that are, well outside the general expectation list for like a kid getting a toy, definitely in the camp of people a little bit later in life who might have some resources to invest in something like a $1,500, $2,000 statue. Even though that's quite a separate market, audience wise, marketing wise, sales wise, still a lot of the same production processes. So those products may fall victim to some of the same woes that are currently plaguing the toy industry. And of course, for people like Star Wars: The Black Series or Marvel Legends collectors, those are collectibles for those people that adults mostly that collect them and display them, but they're also playthings for younger people. So let's read this article. An ocean full of containers, how toy companies are grappling with shipping delays this holiday season. So they start with a couple key points. Toy manufacturers are grappling with a massive bottleneck in the global transportation pipeline caused by the coronavirus pandemic and worsened by the blockage of the Suez Canal in March. So still dealing with that multi-day disruption. Power outages in China. I didn't know that was the thing. Power outages in China, a resin shortage, and higher labor costs have also strained the supply of goods and increased prices. We've seen that in a lot of markets, not just toys. MGA Entertainment. I have no idea who they are, but they're mentioned later in the article, so we'll learn a little bit about them. MGA Entertainment has anticipated 50% sales growth this year. That's awesome. That's huge. But now expects to grow by 18 to 20%. So ostensibly, because of these shortages and supply chain disruptions, going to grow by significantly less than half of what they expected they might be able to do. So kind of interesting there. So what does CNBC have to say about this? Even from the porch of his home in Malibu, toy executive Isaac Larian can't escape this holiday season's biggest business challenge. He can see a long line of container ships idle at the port of Los Angeles about 70 miles away. Larian, CEO of MGA Entertainment, said the congested port has been a persistent view off the California coast since at least May. And I would agree that disruptions have been happening at least since May, maybe even a little longer than that. But go on here. As he tries to relax and watch the sunset, it's a constant reminder of the many toys that have yet to arrive. Boy, life sounds rough for CEOs of toy companies, soaking in the sun off the beaches of Malibu. All right, anyway, the delay in unloading the ships could jeopardize whether parents can buy the toys in time to wrap up and tuck under the Christmas tree. If they miss the opportunity, toys could linger on shelves with clearance stickers deep into the winter. Wow, actually, kind of a double whammy for toy manufacturers and retailers there. But maybe a little bit of upside for um, collectors who are willing to roll the dice and wait and see if stuff they want is on a discount instead of full price, or even jacked up prices on eBay for aftermarket stuff. Anyway, I can see an ocean full of containers, he said, ship after ship after ship, full of containers waiting to unload. He said the company, the maker of LOL, I don't know how he pronounces that, Surprise, Rainbow High, and Little Tikes, currently has enough inventory to meet around 65% of its outstanding orders. Yeah, I feel you there, bud. He said MGA Entertainment has anticipated 50% sales growth this year, but now expects to grow, blah, blah, blah. He did not share specific revenue numbers because the company is privately held. Yeah, good for him. That's his own business. Larian is just one of many toy manufacturers grappling with a massive bottleneck in the global transportation pipeline caused by the pandemic and worsened by the blockage of the Suez Canal in March. Shipping containers, this is cool. They're not cool, this is terrible, but it's cool to see the stat actually in numbers instead of just alluded to, oh, it's more expensive. This is big. Shipping containers that once cost $3,200 now sell for north of $20,000, Larian said. And even when containers are unloaded, there aren't enough truckers to deliver those shipments. Power outages in China, a resin shortage, it's the first I've heard of that, and higher labor costs have also strained the supply of goods and increased prices. Excuse me. It's a really, really complex set of problems that has a chain effect, and I'm afraid this will continue for a long time, Larian said. No company is immune. Larger ones do have more resources. Home Depot and Costco have gone as far as to contract dedicated container ships to expedite orders. I know Walmart actually owns their own shipping containers, and they're massive. They're like ginormous cities on the water. Let's see. Larger companies also have the cash to place orders well in advance of the time when they're needed and basically float those costs. I see that. Hasbro and Mattel didn't respond to a request for comment for this story, but executives have stressed the big toy companies are better equipped to handle these challenges. Yeah, they are. This isn't something specific to toys or even manufacturing only, but just-in-time delivery and just-in-time inventory is a business practice that has become commonplace, and it's taught in MBA programs that it is the correct way to run a company. And if you have a smoothly running, uninterrupted global supply chain, you can get away with that, and it's hugely profitable because you don't sacrifice what could be profit to expenses like inventory management, warehouse space, forklifts to move that product, labor to operate that equipment, to catalog that material, to safeguard it, right? To keep it safe, to keep it dry, to keep it climate controlled. These are all costs that just-in-time delivery, just-in-time inventory management work to avoid. And when everything's running well, that's fine. Another thing I'll say, when manufacturing is performed locally, that's also much more just-in-time inventory management is also much more of an option. When you've got 7 continents and manufacturing distributed around them, and you're relying on uninterrupted, undisrupted global shipping lines to ferry those products around. Well, it becomes a little more problematic, and we're definitely seeing that. In this case, luckily, it's just toys, and it's not any kind of life-threatening issue. But there are cases like healthcare some automotive things where it's far more disruptive to normal life. Anyway, that brief aside over. Let's talk about Goldman Sachs. At a Goldman Sachs conference in late September, Hasbro CEO Brian Goldner said his company is using all kinds of tactics and techniques to ensure that we will have the product that we need. That includes nearly doubling the number of ports it's using in the US and adding a number of new ports in Asia, he said. So we get to see where a lot of the chain is built between the US and Asia. And obviously, if there's slowdowns, that's where the disruptions are occurring. So Hasbro expects some toys will be delayed, arriving the beginning of the fourth quarter instead of the end of the third. But toys will be on shelves in time for peak shopping season, he said. We believe we'll have all the products, albeit maybe we'd like a little more product in certain categories, but we'll have the products for the holiday, he said. Now he's talking to investors here, so it is his job to give confidence and security to investors, so they feel comfortable with the capital they put in the company. So he's got to say this, and a company like Hasbro is also probably making the necessary steps to make his words true. But it's telling that in talking to investors, where he's ought to be a hype man for the company, that he's acknowledging, we're not going to have as much product as we want, as we think we should have for demand, but we'll have at least a little bit of everything. Then he acknowledges this: those products will be more expensive. At the same investor conference, Mattel CEO Ynon Kreiz said his company is raising toy prices to cover the higher costs, but doesn't expect that to dampen demand. We believe the toy industry as a whole will remain a strategic category for retailers, Kreiz said. Items are not expensive. That's kind of relative, but okay. Items are not expensive, and parents will forever prioritize spending money on their children, especially when it comes to quality products and trusted brands. The NDP Group, a market researcher, estimates overall holiday spending in November and December will rise 3% from last year, and 5% of the season is expanded to include October and early January. Interesting discussion there, but anyway, let's move on. Meanwhile, consultants Bain and Deloitte each estimate that holiday sales will grow at least 7% and reach around 800 billion. Billion with a B. Wow. Less variety and squeezed supply. Industry analysts said that there isn't a singular must-have holiday toy this year. Instead, they foresee customers gravitating toward items that were most loved during the lockdown. And that list is long and definitely grew. The lockdown was certainly a boon for anyone who supplies keepsakes or collectibles. I guess when people are locked at home and aren't going out to the mall or going to see the movies, they hit up online retailers for collectibles and seek out nostalgia of things they loved in their youth and want to share with their kids, or have loved throughout their life and want to start building a collection for. We saw an explosion of that. There's so many new people in the action figure collecting category, and statues are crazy. Limited run statues for even beloved things like you'd get a limited run character like Darth Vader, 400 made. Now we're seeing those go like that. Pre-orders are going up to 800, 900, 1,200 pieces more. So less variety and squeeze supply. There's not a single must-have toy. Okay, there are a few character-driven toys with Batman, good old Grogu, Paw Patrol, no clue what that is, and Frozen out there, said Nikki Baird, Vice President of Retail Innovation at Aptos, a retail technology company. But more emphasis on sensory play like kinetic sand, water toys, Legos, fidget toys, and also toys that promote exploratory kind of play. I don't know. I never saw emphasis on that kind of stuff decline Maybe it's just because I'm a parent. I have motivation to kind of provide that to my own kids. Who knows? Anyway, seeing an increase in that. Parents who usually wait to shop sales in late November and December will want to get their hands on their kids' wish lists sooner this year. That's actually good advice. If your kid has their heart set on something, go buy it now, said Steve. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name, CEO of the Toy Association. Don't wait. Yeah, I do think that's good advice. I might have to do some stuff for my kids earlier than otherwise might. Last year, retailers encouraged shoppers to grab gifts early due to the pandemic. Amazon, Target, and Walmart, among others, began holiday sales events in October. But even then, the bulk of sales happened in December, although a small portion did shift forward, according to NPD. About 16% of fourth quarter toy sales were made in October, up 3% from 2019. Okay, so last year, people were buying early, and this year it may make sense to buy even earlier, so I would do it now. Toy sales rung up in December represented 55% of the total fourth quarter haul, down 3% from the prior year. So 3% sales that happened in December kind of moved to October, I guess that says. That 3% swing, yeah, right here. That 3% swing between 400 million toys were made earlier rather than later. Okay, to cope with tight inventories, retailers are placing bigger bets on fewer items. It was a strategy that was used for the back to school season as well, and it will likely mean fewer choices for consumers. Toys that have been popular during the pandemic may be hard to find too. Neil Saunders, managing director of Global Data Retail, said he's noticed out of stock and less inventory of crafting and to-do toys that parents use to keep kids entertained. He's noticed gaps with fidget toys, plush toys, and dolls too. Yeah, guys should do a little bit of research into 6-scale action figures. Those of us in the collecting community, we're used to placing those orders, putting money down, sometimes years in advance, and waiting for those things to come out. And sometimes don't even get enough order for the thing to actually be made, and you wait for 18 months or whatever, and then it's the plug is pulled, and you never get to see that one come to life, or the next movie or something comes out, and all the attention gets moved to that. So yeah, when we're already used to those kinds of delays, and then we have this happen, feel your pain with your missing fidget spinners. Larian said for MGA, items such as its LOL Surprise, OMG House of Surprises playset rather, which is on Walmart's top toys list. I have no idea what that is. Maybe let's just look that up. MGA LOL Surprise. MGA LOL. Oops. A LOL Surprise. What the heck is this thing? LOL Surprise. Oh, come on, just show me what the thing is. All right, let's be a kid. Oh, it's dolls? Quizzes. All right, this was a mistake. What was the other one? OMG Playhouse? OMG. Whoa, 2 M's. Playhouse. A little live research here. Holy crap, it is big. Let's look at this thing. Jeez. All right, so it's just a dollhouse. All right. What are they saying about it? Larian said for MGA, items such as its LOL Surprise, OMG, House of Surprises, it's quite a mouthful, playset which is on Walmart's top toys list, will be harder to find. The LOL House, that item is over $200 and it's big, Larian said. You can only put 150 to 200 in a container and you can't air freight it. On the other hand, he said numerous LOL Surprise blind bags, whatever, wrapped up packs with small collectible toys inside. So they're a little like loot crate. style things can fit inside a 40-foot container and get shipped on the plane. The company's fashion dolls were blah, blah, blah. I don't care about all that. Larian said the supply chain has numerous broken links, not only in China, but also in the US. For instance, he said there aren't enough truckers to move containers once they hit the shore, or enough workers for domestic manufacturing facilities. Yeah, we exported all of our domestic manufacturing. How nice would it be for everything from masks to ventilators to action figures, cell phone cases, if we still had a little bit of manufacturing here at home. But chasing those lower labor costs, sometimes in looser regulatory protections, lower tax structures, we've exported all that quite intentionally. I used to write for a couple companies, but one of the beats I wrote for was on nearshoring. So that was moving manufacturing, all kinds of production really, but mostly manufacturing to South and Central America. And a lot to Mexico too. Anyway, this guy, Larian, we're still talking about Larian. He said wages at MGA's Little Tykes, which is based in Ohio, have increased 60% wage increase in wages as it struggles to fill manufacturing jobs. Ripple effect. Walmart and Target are both hiring additional supply chain workers to keep goods moving during the holidays and beyond. Walmart, which has about 1.6 million U.S. employees, that's like a measurable percentage of the population. I think the U.S. has like 320 or 330 million people in it. Walmart employs 1.6 million. Wow. Is hiring 20,000 people for roles such as order fillers and freight handlers. Target, which has about 350,000 employees, is hiring 30,000 supply chain employees. Target said it will also emphasize its toy department this holiday season by roughly tripling the number of Disney shops inside Target locations. And collaborating with FAO Schwartz on a limited time collection. Higher labor and transportation costs will have a ripple effect for customers too. A recent Salesforce report estimated that prices could rise as much as 20% this holiday season. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it blew that out of the water and we see more than 20%. There will be some deals, but supplies are short and retailers won't want to do massive deals on toys, Saunders said. Unless it's those clearance aisle sequel trilogy or Shang-Chi items. Sorry, that was mean. Saunders said it'll be a more expensive holiday. More reason to buy early, I guess. A new report from the NPD group indicates that 29% of consumers in the U.S. plan to spend more on holiday shopping this year than compared with last. While prices may be higher this year, they will be presented at a discount. Let me read that again. While prices may be higher this year, they will be presented at a discount, said Aptos Baird. Retailers know they're competing with other retailers for a limited share of consumer wallets, a one-time seasonal spend, she said. Since retailers are competing with each other for the share of the spend, I expect there will be promotions offered even where supply is limited. Wow, let's unpack that. So this guy Baird is saying, or gal Baird, I guess, says she, prices may be higher, but they'll be presented at a discount. Okay, that seems pretty reasonable. We're going to raise prices, but we're going to say they're on sale. So they'll probably raise prices higher than they otherwise would so they can offer them at a discount. Okay. But they're competing with other retailers for a limited share of consumer wallets. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with this. For a limited share of consumer wallets, but they say consumer spending is going to be higher. And this is a one-time seasonal spend. Yeah, that's always going to be limited. Like there's always only going to be so much. But they can expect more this year than in recent history. Since retailers are competing with each other for the share of the spend, I expect promos will be offered even when there is a limited supply. It sounds like from everything else in this article that retailers are more than competing with, for a limited consumer wallet, they're going to be competing for product availability. At any rate, let's not get derailed by that kind of maybe bit of inconsistency in that quote. If retailers don't have toys that shoppers want, stores could miss sales in other merchandise categories, said Larian, explaining that retailers often use toys as a loss leader to lure in customers. Yep. Toys are an emotional purchase, bring in foot traffic. None of this is... All right, so it just kind of ends with a why people buy toys thing. I'm more interested in the what the heck is happening in the world that's slowing everything down. So, yeah, I mean, looking at that article, there's a global supply chain issue, and as collectors, we fall victim to that just as much as parents preparing for the holidays do. But I've got some good news from online sellers anyway, that some stuff we've been waiting for quite some time is finally available. Pull some of those up in a second. But that just says to me that this isn't a new issue. Obviously, we had the that ship in the Suez Canal months and months and months ago. It was last spring. So yeah, that's an event that we're still dealing with the implications of. But I think this was going on at least back to the start of lockdowns and whatnot. But I think we were already feeling it before then. And I think there's actually two reasons. I think there's one reason that isn't at all touched on in that article. One, I think, is some supply chain and production bottlenecks that we've been heading toward anyway, and they've really just been exacerbated. A spotlight has been shown on them because of the global issues we're having with health crisis. But that's when you rely on just-in-time manufacturing, just-in-time delivery, just-in-time inventory management. Your whole shtick is kicking the can just far enough that you avoid warehousing costs. And I think we were headed to a point where promises that were being made were getting harder and harder to keep. And then obviously we had this global issue, and that can just couldn't be kicked any farther. It was already getting precarious, and that wasn't even a straw that broke that camel's back. It was a hammer that came down. So I think that's one thing. But the other, I think, is just a huge spike in interest in collectibles. I got some here, actually. I talk a lot about Star Wars and things like Marvel, stuff like that, because I love them, because they're fun, because we're finally starting to get things back in theaters. The streaming wars are going on, so everyone's trying to crank out content. And I have my fingers crossed anyway that hopefully the quality of that content is going up. So I talk a lot about that stuff, but I also love Magic the Gathering, things like that. I've been playing for a long, long time. So like I got, reserve list cards, dual lands and things like that. I love this stuff. The number of people entering into the collectibles markets, whether that's collectible trading cards, whether that's statues, whether that's action figures, sports memorabilia, coins, huge spike in all of that. And it's kind of great as a fan of that stuff, because there's a lot more content creators making really, really cool content for that. I mean, you can pretty much fill your day with reviews of toys or financial discussions of collectible trading cards, and like what's going up, what's going down, what to get now, what to buy and hold. So it's a fun time from a content consumption standpoint to be in those worlds. But I think it's just because it's being driven by the fact that there's so many new people entering those markets. Direct result of that is, manufacturers are struggling to keep pace with demand, and in fact, they can't keep pace with demand. Pair that up with the supply chain and shipping disruptions that we've had, and there you go. Things are really backed up. In that article, they talked about some of the worker shortages. Even when supply chains are running smoothly enough for the ships to get to the docks, having enough people to unload those ships and enough truckers to distribute the shipped goods once they arrive, that's a real thing. Job opportunities for enterprising people. Learn a trade. Maybe save yourself $80,000 of debt from a liberal arts education and learn how to work. But let's look at a couple things. Enough about supply chains. Let's geek out with some collectibles. Let me share this. Here we go. I guess my face is over part of it. See if I can make this a little smaller. There, now I'm tiny. Boom. On the fly. Now I'm super tiny. This is Entertainment Earth. This is one of the places I order from. As you can see, I got a lot of things on order with them. I don't only collect Black Series, but and I don't collect all of the Black Series, but I get a bunch. I get the stuff I like. I don't collect any vintage series stuff anymore. If you're unfamiliar with Star Wars collectibles, you've got the original like Kenner-sized 3 3/4 inch figures that anybody my age remembers growing up with. That's your Star Wars figures, your G.I. Joe figures, all those guys. They're 3 3/4 inch figures, and then you have 12th scale figures. So like if you take if you take a 6 foot physical form and you do a 12th scale, you get a 6 inch figure. So that's your and it's a really popular collectible size at this point. That's your Star Wars The Black Series figures. That's your Marvel's Legends figures. A lot of action, a lot of your wrestling figures are that 12th scale size. And then you go up there, like there's 6th scale, which is 12 inch, and quarter scale, which is even larger. Action figures. Quarter scale is about the largest action figure you're going to get. Like some of your NECA turtles and stuff like that are that size. But then you start getting into predominantly statues, quarter scale, half scale. So basically, like you get a half scale figure. Half scale Boba Fett is going to be 3 feet tall, or maybe even a little bit more. I don't know what height they put the actual Boba Fett character at, just by way of example. So I got a lot of stuff there. This first group, I don't expect to get these anytime real soon. This is a whole wave released of the Rogue One figures from the first from Star Wars Rogue One, one of the early Disney films. Really excited to get these. I missed a couple of the original release of these Black Series figures in the old style packaging, but the faces were bad. Hasbro's really upped their game with I forget what they call it, but it's some kind of digital face printing process where they get a lot better looking face paint applications. The sculpts are still whatever the sculpts are. Maybe they've updated a few of those actually, but I don't think so. But the paint applications are vastly improved. You get better looking eyes, more lifelike skin tones and stuff. It's really good. I like what the innovation they've done along that line. But these say coming in November. I'd be shocked if we see them in November. I bet we get these probably April or May next year. But who knows? And then the cool thing about this is this guy. Bodhi Rook. It's the first action figure we have of him. He was the the pilot. I'm the pilot. He's and he's a big character in that movie. He didn't get an action figure the first time around. So we got all them coming. I ordered the whole wave. I want all those. I want the whole gang with that new face printing tech. Then we got Captain Rex. This is a reissue. This is coming December. I don't think we're going to get that. Oh, no, actually, ETA date is November. I'd be shocked if we get this then. But then things like this Black Series Darth Vader. This is the Empire Vader. Good figure. Probably the best Black Series sculpt for a Vader is the Empire one. Looks a lot more live action realistic than like the A New Hope Vader does. But at any rate, this is a reissue. Like no new innovations, no updates, nothing. Just a reissue. And its ETA date was October, coming in November. I would really be surprised if it isn't delayed even farther. Just crazy. I can see these ones just shipped. This one I already got. Yeah. I opened them up, but I didn't do anything with them. I'm probably not going to display them yet. I'm building a new display for my Black Series stuff, so he'll probably go on the Mandalorian display if I got room for that. But Tech, the Bad Batch guy, this is super, super late. I just got notification. This is one of the things I got notification that shipped. But things like this Incinerator Trooper, it's been out. It says coming December 2021. Or a Sing. Like there's been reviews of these figures online for forever. Casca Reeves. Yeah, a lot of these characters people might not even remember by the time their figures come out. Mandalorian, Beskar Mandalorian. I already got that one in, but that one took 5 months. So this one, these guys, the armor, I already got that. Moff Gideon came fast, actually. You can see, like, Moff Gideon, I ordered that in February, and it shipped in April. So, yeah, it's a little slow, but, right, you pre-order something, you've obviously got to wait for the inventory to come in so your pre-order can be filled. But things like this, you can see, ordered in February, shipped in July, probably had something to do with the supply chain disruption, and that ship backed up in the Suez Canal. The rest of the Bad Batch stuff, like Wrecker, it's been out for forever. Wasn't going to get mine till December. Now it's not coming till next year. Bo-Katan, a bunch of these I already got. Crosshair, yeah, same thing. Coming January. Asajj Ventress. This figure's been out for forever. Cad Bane, good lord. I've got a statue on order of him. Custom statue. It's not a licensed piece. I'll probably get that custom limited run sculpted statue, designed, made, manufactured, painted, shipped, unpacked, displayed before I get this guy. Just crazy. So that's a bunch of things like Black Series stuff that I have on order. And yeah, I mean, the supply chain disruption is a real deal. It's affecting those. And then the reason this came up and the reason I started looking at this today was I got a notification from Sideshow saying that even though Hot Toys has released the Rex figure and people who are ordering direct from Hong Kong already have these figures in hand, not only are they not filling my order now, even though people who order direct from Hong Kong already have it, but it's actually delayed, maybe as much as 3 months. And in Sideshow terms, that could be half a year. But this is the one. Oh, I love this figure. Can't wait to get this figure, and people already have it. But yeah, I got a notification that is delayed as much as 3 months. Expected to ship October 21 to December 21, but I've been told don't expect mine before Christmas. I'll make a video if that changes, if it actually ship magically appears or something. But oh man, look at this guy. This is one of my 2 most anticipated pieces this year. Look at that. I got him set up as a phase 1 trooper right now. Let me go back to me. But I got the 501st Battalion guy. He's set up as a phase 1 clone trooper right now. But he can do this. He can do comes with extra helmet sculpts. So I can do the Ahsoka. I can do either the phase 2 clone helmet or the Ahsoka Tano tribute helmet they did in season 7 of the Clone Wars. Some of the best Star Wars ever made, just FYI. Yeah, Captain Rex. Can't wait to see this guy. Congrats to everyone who got in on the Cody figure. I skipped that one. I probably shouldn't have. Anyway, the other one my most anticipated figure of 2021 that I also looks at this point like it probably won't get in 2021 is the Clone Wars Ahsoka Tano. And this one, I actually think it's a little sad if they can't get it out this year. We have I don't know if we have production photos. They at least have the prototype. They showed off the prototype Mandalorian Rosario Dawson version of Ahsoka Tano, the Hot Toys prototype for that. It looks amazing. They have a bundle where it comes with a Grogu. So, and I think that's going to be a real hot seller. And especially if we start seeing Rosario Dawson and some of the other Star Wars properties, I think production numbers for this Clone Wars Ahsoka that I'm personally far more interested in as an action figure. I think production numbers are going to go down, and I think the aftermarket prices on this thing are going to be absurdly high because collectors are going to want it and manufacturers aren't going to want to make it. They're going to want to be making Rosario Dawson versions. But maybe there's a third-party unlicensed company that'll pick up on that and fill that niche and probably do really well with it. But yeah, this is my actually most anticipated 2021 release, and I don't think we're going to get it in 2021. Hot Toys Sideshow, if you're listening, figure that out. Get us Ahsoka. Get us Clone Wars Ahsoka. Yeah, so it kind of makes you wonder, really, or it makes me wonder: should I be dealing with Sideshow anymore? I've ordered not all, but most of my action figures, 6-scale action figures, and a lot of my statues from Sideshow, but it almost makes more sense just to go directly to one of the Hong Kong resellers and buy it there. Even if you're paying 50% more for the shipping or twice the shipping, even if you're paying a $15-$20 premium on a $250 or $300 action figure, if you get it 6 to 9 months earlier, like, why would you not do that? And the other thing is just really hard to plan around. Right now I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there's 2 more that I didn't pull up. So 10 or 11 6-scale figures. That's not even mentioning statues on pre-order, and not having any idea when those are going to ship. It makes it really hard to plan, financially, because they come with a significant cost, rather. So it makes me more reluctant to buy others. I'm a little more reluctant to make pre-orders on 2 or 3 other figures because if the release dates on some of these figures are accurate and the ones that we've missed suddenly become available, it's just a really large outlay of cash. And I could probably swing it, but I know that for a lot of people, they aren't in a position to do that. So, it's dissuading collectors from making purchases. So yeah, I got some. These are Sideshow figures, not Hot Toy figures, but these are already some of my most anticipated figures for 2022. It's this animated style Clone Wars figures. Sideshow isn't renowned for the highest quality bodies, so I'm a little nervous that these are going to be poorly constructed figures with bad joints, but I want them. I want them anyway, even if I have to come up with the pose I want them in and glue the joints, make them statues. I want this is this is my Anakin. Love or hate the prequels if you want to. Love or hate Christian Hayden, Haydenson if you want to, but this Matt Lanter version of Anakin, that's my Anakin. So yeah. Anyway, that's some of the stuff I have on order. Some of the stuff that I've been waiting for quite a while at this point. And yeah, it was interesting that article came up today talking about those the shipping issues, kind of right when I was getting multiple notifications for both deliveries or shipping notifications rather and delays. So I wanted to go over that, share some of the reasons why collectors are getting stuff late, and that's about it. If you're into this kind of stuff, I talk about Star Wars, I talk about collectibles, I talk about gaming stuff if I feel like it. Basically, whatever interests me the day, that's what I talk about. And if you're into any of that kind of stuff, and if you stayed around this long, give me a like on the video. It helps me out. This is a brand new channel. Give me a like on the video. Subscribe if you want to get more of that kind of stuff. And have a good day.